All right, so we know why you clicked on this video. You were lazy, unfocused, undetermined in life at one point. Then you started to strive for success. You opened up that first business, right? You became disciplined, motivated. You finally had something that you felt you were worthy of becoming and striving for, to set your family free, to set yourself free, and to enjoy the fruits of your labor. But now you've gone into the dip, the phase where nothing happens, the loneliness, depression, the tireless, sleepless nights. It's killing you mentally. Now, I want to give context to my situation in this. For the last 9 months, I've been doing organic drop shipping, grinding, working, all the things I just talked about, I've done. I say I've hit rock bottom, but it just feels like I'm working, but not progressing. But something realistically is progressing that's beyond my two eyes, right? Beyond the physical. In this video, the 5 essential signs that God gave me is why you need to keep going and striving, because you're closer than what you really think you are. Okay, so the first key essential lesson that he told me was elevate your mind and your personal self. Okay, so oftentimes with online business, a lot of us, we just get caught up in work, grind. Like, I was doing organic drop shipping for 12 to 16 hours a day, just focusing on that, but not focusing on the side of myself and the millionaire version I truthfully need to become. And I'm gonna give context to that real quick. So a lot of us, bro, we'll work for like 12 to 16 hours, but we don't know how to really stimulate focus in a flow state, okay? It's this book by David Rock. It's called Your Brain at Work. I want y'all to all go look this up. This book talks about all of the key essentials of not only how to focus, but how to obtain that flow state more authentically, right? Because a lot of times we try to focus, and we'll essentially force ourselves into that. It also goes on to talk about habits, which is your basal gondola. Once you do something 6 times in a row, the automatic habit format in your basal gondola kicks on, and you can do it automatically. And a lot of people who work jobs, and even me when I was doing my business, I was doing things on that autopilot mode, that basal gondola. That's a lower conscious form of you, right? Your prefrontal cortex is what takes focus. It's what takes consciousness. For me to really sit here right now, talk to this camera, and authentically express myself, I'm moving from my prefrontal cortex, not my basal gondola. I'm not moving off of habit forming, right? Habit forming, moving off of that state, is low energy. That's why I said low consciousness. That's why you'll have somebody who can go to work for 8 hours and not be mentally there. Or somebody, for me, for an example, I would do product research, not mentally be there all the way, right? It takes focus to really achieve and strive to higher means of self. And a lot of y'all have these unconscious thought loops that just go around in your mind, and those negative forming thoughts is what's regressing you and keeping you into that lower form of self. So this is where we need to expand our minds beyond just business and look at business in a complex way of self, right? We need to be well-rounded. We need to understand our mind, body, and spirit, right? But not even just that. Business is war, bro. Mao Musashi, the Book of the 5 Rings. I'm gonna just spit a little bit of sauce on that because this is the realest shit that he said. When you have a competitor, right? Let's just put it in organic dropshipping terms. Say my competitor has listed the product at $25, but mine is $40, right? And I can't get it for the price that he has got it for. In the Book of the 5 Rings, Mao Musashi talks about you want to double down on your strength, right? Instead of trying to overlay and do what the enemy is doing. So instead of me trying to look out a whole bunch of suppliers to try to get a lower price, let me double down on my strength, which is content. If I make better content than him, have a better background, a better visual, better aesthetic movements, the perceived value of my product goes up. And now I can price it for more because the perception of it is higher quality. That's the type of shit I'm talking about, bro. It's a lot of knowledge out here that should be applied to business, because business is you and me. Next lesson that God told me is reprogramming the subconscious mind. Now, to give more context to this, the main thing I suffered from was unconscious thought patterns, bro. Like, I would regress into these states of thought that I had in high school, middle school, and all these lower self-beliefs of myself that I not only didn't align with in this day and age, but it still felt so real. The reality of, because I'm gonna be real with y'all, I got picked on at one point in time. I would mentally still be there. I had the visual of it, the background, the aesthetic. Not even just that, like just other regressed thought patterns that just didn't equate to what I wanted to become in life, didn't equate to my business in any other venture that I physically do, right? So that wasted motion and energy is depriving the fuck out of you. It's essentially like a vampire, bro. And that's one of the main reasons why I feel like my progression in life in itself has not gotten to the point of what I really want it to be and what it could be if I eliminated that aspect within my mind. So this is why I'm saying we need to venture out and learn more. But not only after we learn more, we need to apply it so we can reprogram our psychological mind, bro. All right? Y'all understand the world is 80% mindset, 20% physical. Even though you do need to be working all the time, don't be lazy, keep it pushing. It comes from the appliance of the mental factor of what you learned that really progresses it. Now, I want to give more context about something else God told me. It's about reprogramming your mind around your situation. So I think I stated this before. I currently don't have a car. I currently live with my aunt. I currently am living at really low means. Like, bro, I make fucking thug meals, like struggle meals type shit. Putting tuna in a can with some 4-minute rice and putting whatever type of sauce I could put on it to regress the taste of this shit, bro. Like, I ride a bike everywhere because I don't have a fucking car, and that's just what it is. And essentially reprogramming my mind from an understanding that I am not the identification of broke, poor, or any of those low means of what the world has tried to project onto us. Now, it's having that understanding that I am actually evolving and progressing even while living in these lower means and standards of life, right? I have not had a mental breakdown about any of this shit. I've been very fucking grateful that I even have a bike to ride, bro. Literally, the gym is 2 miles away. I ride this bitch every day, and I'll put a podcast on. Today, I had to go ride to Walmart to buy groceries, and I had to ride back on my bike, which was 2 fucking miles, carrying some fat ass protein shakes and some burgers, which was heavy as fuck. But I was so thankful for it. Why? Because I understand the means of self and where I'm headed and where I'm really progressing to, where this has no type of weight on my mind, body, and spirit, bro. So it can't determine me. This is just temporary, bro. Understand the physical realm of life is so temporary. That's why you don't want to get caught up in these means, bro. You don't want to regress and really feel like, oh, I'm broke as fuck, I'm poor as fuck, whatever your situation is. You want to understand that, bro, this shit is temporary, and if I stay in a divine experience state, essentially like a child, I'm not gonna hold any of these identifications of what people hold as broke, poor, and etc. I'm going to keep progressing and evolving the mindset and my base intent and will that I have going on within myself, which is to not only become a millionaire, but to become all that I want to be, right? Let's keep going. All right, so the third, and this is really one of the most important lessons God told me, was it's never too late to start. Now, this is gonna sound really stupid to a lot of y'all, but it's the truth. I'm 19 years old, and I really strive to become a content creator and really specialize in that field. More so, I've always wanted to be famous my whole life. I had identification issues with myself in middle school and in high school. I did used to get picked on a lot, and that really lowered my self-esteem. And ever since then, I always wanted to become somebody who was known for some shit and who stood on a message like Tupac Shakur. He's actually one of the biggest people I look up to, right? And I call it stupid because I'm only 19 and I think that it's too late. Why? Because you see these influencers who are 16, 15, 18, driving Trackhawks and shit like that already up, and you think that, oh, because they're young niggas, it looks so cool and I'm just too fucking old, right? I have to understand that the things that I want, bro, will not happen or may not happen 2, 3, 4 years from now. Is a lot of us need to progress and to start accepting more gratificated states, right? We need to not get caught up in these images and identifications. Like I said, I thought it was too late for me to start at 19. I didn't think it was too late. I just wanted it at 18, at 19. I want it now, without understanding the whole journey itself of you doing the work, like me making this video. I'm teaching myself by making this video. I'm learning more about myself while making this video. This is a freestyle video, bro. I am like dead ass just talking. And I'm learning about myself because this is what I've experienced. And it's helping me self-reflect and really digest the things and aspects of self that need to progress and that need to be better so I can level the fuck up. So through this journey, through this journey in these phases, I'm leveling the fuck up so that when I do have 100K followers, when I do have $1 million, I'm the motherfucker who can progress, make more of it. And at the same time, I understand through my experience who I became, bro. And that's really like the part and aspect of all of this shit that is so satisfying, bro. You became somebody who you couldn't even fathom at one point, bro. If I showed y'all the way I looked at myself in high school, and a lot of y'all can relate, I looked at myself like I was a piece of shit. I let people treat me like shit. This is a true story, bro. I let people pick on me, call me names. I never stood up for myself. I was scared to jump in the fire and really stick up for myself. And you look at me now, nigga, I'm a fucking dog. I can do shit that 99% of motherfuckers watching this and out in the world can never fucking do. So that's one thing that I really hold as value. I progressed from a lazy motherfucker to somebody who is over striving and achieving who the fuck he wants to become. I'm finally getting this shit. Getting to the bag, getting to the motion, getting to all that shit. All right, so let's keep progressing. One thing that God told me, and he really put it on my heart, and I want y'all to understand this, is there is no perfect time, right? I think the reason we think there's a perfect time is because we want to subjectively be prepared for whatever we may take on, right? We want the knowledge, we want the skills, we want all of these things that create the foundation of greatness. But I think we need to understand that same way you walk in the gym, you lift weights and you'll feel weak, right? You'll be lifting weights, you may drop the weights because it was too heavy, but you'll see time and time again through repetition, you persist, you got stronger. Persist more, you got even more stronger. And then finally, you'll have the body that you want, the true success. But was it really that, or was it the lesson of persistence? The lesson of not only delayed gratification, but determination, the fire within you to really progress and achieve. So what I'm basically saying is, if you put this into the mental aspect, bro, that we really are, because we're just consciousness, the qualities of self that you get to adapt through not starting at a perfect time and just putting yourself in the fire and persisting through that, you adapt all of these qualities, all of this virtuous character. I want y'all to understand also that life is an experience, bro. We're all supposed to be at a childlike state, but through the world and identity, we have been regressed from that. That has been taken away from us. That's why we always think, oh, there's a perfect time to start or some shit. Oh, you need to know this to start. But if you were at a childlike state of mind, you would actually just do it. Do children really be thinking before they do something? Hell no. And that's actually a good thing because they're at more of a state of consciousness. We have been regressed and oppressed by our thoughts, bro. Our thought patterns, these identifications that we align with within thought. And that is the reason why we don't start certain things, right? I'm gonna be real with y'all. I really thought that because I'm 19 and I'm not known by the motherfucking world yet, that it sucks and that I'm a loser, or that, you know, it's damn near too late and I should have had this at this age because I want to be this young turned nigga. And all of that was identity, which doesn't even fucking exist, bro. So I'm regressing my own self by embodying these subjective thoughts, right, around self. So being at this childlike state of consciousness, which we all are, we are the children of the divine. No matter what you believe in, we are all children of the divine. Whether you're grown as fuck or whether you're a child, bro, it's so much shit to learn. It's so much shit to experience. And that's the beauty of life. So let's just get out here and experience and stop regressing ourselves to these identifications of what we call self. All right, so this is the last and final lesson that God told me, bro. All right. This actually is very connected to the last thing I was talking about. And it's essentially just about delayed gratification, right? Understanding the delayed factor, the physical realm, how it is on the lowest density. And like I said, the spirit realm is on a higher density. Things can essentially materialize faster through thought. That's why your thoughts are lightning fucking quick. But just understanding that through delayed gratification, bro, is the journey itself. That's the journey and that's the experience, right? It's this book called The Dip. And The Dip talks about when you first start something, you're gonna suck at it. You're really gonna suck at it. And you may see some early success. My drop shipping career, I started in January, and by March, I was hitting 1K days back to back. I had made 7K within my second month, bro. And then after that, I was making around $1,000 consistently. And when I hit July, I stopped making money. I've only made $500 since July, and it sucked, bro. It has actually sucked. And it talks about this dip state is really where you're gonna build your character. You're gonna become more virtuous, right? You're gonna adopt these certain principles and maybe even philosophies within your life, and that substantially is gonna grow your mindset, thus changing your physical surroundings. And that's where I'm at right now, and that's where y'all are at. We're in this journey state of aligning with new principles, new perspectives, and evolving self. And that's really what it's gonna take to get out of here. You know, I essentially think about it as beating it from the inside out, right? I may not have the money to change my circumstance. Like, I don't have a car, I have to walk to the store to get fucking groceries, I have to walk to the gym or ride my bike, but I can persist my mindset and adopt new principles and standards and perspectives to change my actual physical environment in a way of mentality, though, right? It's not actually going to change, but my mental perspective will change, and thus evolving me, which is consciousness, right? So enjoying this journey, enjoying this experience, understanding we're just children, bro. All of us, no matter how old you are, and if we just live life in these experienced states, not holding on and attaching to anything, being at a very detached state, we're gonna enjoy this shit and we're gonna persist way faster. All right, I love y'all boys. Like, comment, and fucking subscribe.